Ever felt your heart drop into your stomach? I have. My life, once a serene stream, turned into a tumultuous river when I caught her, Sky, my wife, in the arms of another. I'm sorry, Rory. I wish I could undo it all. She wept, but her tears couldn't wash away the sting of her betrayal. As the truth dawned, a shadow fell over our past, tainted now with every whispered, I love you. This is my journey through betrayal to forgiveness. Enjoy watching it. Pulling into this driveway felt strange. It had been a whole 10 years since my last visit. Turning the car off, I leaned back and stretched. The long drive had worn me out, so I took my time. Looking around, I saw the old house. Wow. 10 years. And it looked the same as before. I opened the car door and stepped out into the cool, late afternoon. It was fall, and it was getting cooler by the day. Walking around the car, I shook off the stiffness. All right, time to do this, I told myself. Let's finish this up. I knocked on the front door and waited. When the door opened and my mom saw me, she was shocked. Her eyes went wide. Rory. She seemed lost for words. Sorry, love. We didn't think you'd make it for Dad's goodbye. I had to come. She hugged me tight. Rory, dear, so good to see you. She checked me out and joked. You've gotten big? Yeah, too much food. Not enough moving. How have you been, Mom? She started to cry into my shirt, shaking. She let go, and I stepped inside our old house. Like the outside, inside hadn't changed much either. I could hear voices from the dining room. Mom mentioned, Your sisters are here too. Suddenly, a young boy ran up screaming about a phone call for Gran. She smiled and tapped my arm. They're all in the dining room. Let's go in. They'll be so surprised. He grinned and ran off. I walked with Mom into the dining room. Look who's here. She sounded a bit nervous. The room was full of loud talks and laughter, but as they saw me, it all stopped. It didn't fade away slowly. It just stopped. The look on my big sister's face was something else. Rory? She could hardly speak. Hey, Sloan, all good? My other sister Lila let out a laugh. Why are you here? I came for the funeral. What else? 10 years, and now you show up? You didn't care about us at all. Wow, the nerve. I saw a little boy by Sloan peeking around. The loud talk seemed to scare him. His eyes were all nervous. Mom came back done talking on the phone. Want some food, Rory? No thanks, Mom. Just thought I'd drop by. See if you needed help. How did you know about Dad? Uncle Albert rang me up. She looked so surprised. He knew where you were? Yep. Had my number just in case. She was all worried. He never said. I told him not to tell. Don't be mad at him. The air felt cold. Okay, I might look for a hotel. Stay here, Rory. No need to leave. Mom was quick to say, No, a hotel's better. Don't want to be in the way. This is your house too. Rory, please stay. She sounded sure now. Fine, Mom. I'll grab my stuff. Walking out, I heard whispers. The sisters were mad. Whatever, I thought. Got my bag, locked the car, back into the storm. Which room? I asked. Your old one. Opening my old room felt like going back in time. It was just as I left it. Threw my bag on the bed. The kid was at the door looking at me. Hey, what's your name? He just looked, holding the door. He was shy. Come in. I don't scare people off, I swear. But when I reached out to him, he ran away super fast. I opened a window for some air and lay down on the bed. Looks like driving made me more tired than I thought. I was out cold the second my head hit the pillow, lost in dreams. I saw me and my dad playing with a football and fishing when I was little. We were so tight. Too bad it went downhill. I can't shake off the talk he gave me the day I bailed. I didn't want to go, but I was fed up with my folks trying to make things right between my ex, Sky, and me. No way. She was with someone else and they wanted me to just say sorry and move on. Not happening. You don't just get over that. After loads of fights and talks from my parents and my sisters, I had enough. I packed, drove off, and never looked back. Until today. Even with all the yelling, he was still my dad. There were happy times too, not just the bad, harsh ones. I woke up with a start, the cold air coming in from the window. Man, the last days with Dad were rough. We almost fought. He was mad I wouldn't say sorry to Sky. He wanted me to forget, like I could. Heck, we were married 2 years and she messed up. What now? My heart was racing. All those old feelings bubbled up. I know Sky was tight with my family. She was like one of us. She was Sloane's best mate. They were tighter than Sloane and Layla. I remember Sloane was mad when Sky and I got together. It took months for Sky to make it right with Sloane. After that, they were best mates again. Layla was close to Sky too, not stuck together like two peas in a pod like Sloane, but close enough. Sky and Mom. That hit hard. Sky's family was a mess. Her mom got divorced 3 times, and Sky couldn't stand any of her stepdads. Her real dad? He skipped town and never looked back. That I got. I was itching to leave too. I slipped out to the sound of folks whispering again when I poked my head round and said, "Mom, I'm going to take a shower." Silence fell. Wow. 10 years gone and still they weren't over it. Turns out Sloane still had that glare for me. Loved the hot spray in the shower? I sighed. Should have booked a motel. I got dressed quick, and by the time I was out, the place was crowded. Some faces were strangers to me. Mom did the meet and greet, and handshakes went around. Didn't know the faces, but the names rang a bell, kinda. That's small-town life for you. Everyone's up in everyone else's business. The guys seemed kinda interested in me, at least. Hank, Lily's husband, hit me with the usual. "What's your job? Where you at?" And we ended up yapping about football, much to some of the women's disgust. Lila shot Frank a look that could kill every time he piped up with another question. Her eyes screamed, "Why are you even talking to him?" Mom was all over dinner prep, and Lila and Sloane pitched in to help. Me, Hank, and Mike wound up talking about the funeral and all that. Lists for catering, drinks, cars, they were on it. But when they listed the pallbearers and my name wasn't there, I was floored. I want to be a pallbearer. He was my dad. Sloane snapped, "Like hell, Rory. Dad wouldn't want you. You never even spoke to him." "Don't care. I'm carrying my dad at his funeral. Deal with it, Sloane." Her husband, Mike, stepped in. "Take my spot, man. It's cool. No biggie," Sloane yelled out, her voice sharp and clear. "You all don't get it? Dad left a note on who he wanted. Those names, they're there for a reason." Her words hit me hard. "Sloane," I began, but she cut me short. "No, Rory, Dad had his wishes. You can't just come back after a long 10 years and think all is well. It just doesn't work like that." "Oh, really? It was fine for my wife to be with another guy. And you were okay with that?" Two-faced. Mom shouted, "Enough!" Her eyes darted around us, her face set and firm. "I won't have such talk in my home. Think of Dylan. He shouldn't hear this." "Dylan?" I asked. Hank nodded toward a young boy. "Maybe we should all cool it. Sloane. Dad probably wanted Rory here too. Just 'cause they weren't talking doesn't mean he didn't want him to help carry." He sighed. Mom began setting plates and silverware down, silencing us with a serious look. As she laid out the table, the front door swung open with a bang. A familiar voice called out, "Sorry I'm late, Mom. Work was crazy." The young boy, who I had started to think might not talk, ran towards the voice, yelling, "Mom!" I shot my mother a cold glare. She met it head-on, unyielding. The room fell silent as Sky entered with Dylan by her side. "Yeah, sorry, Mom. Today just dragged on." She moved around the table to kiss my mother. Feeling the mood, she turned slowly. Our eyes met. "Rory," she breathed. "Oh my God, you're here?" I nodded, frowning. "Yes, I am. So why are you here?" "Because she's family, unlike you," Sloane hissed. Mom looked at me with a fierce, challenging gaze. "If you're staying to eat, you will be nice." Sky's eyes went dull, her lips shook, and she held Dylan close. Everyone looked at me. It felt ice cold. Their eyes were all waiting for something. I pushed back my chair and got up. "I see how it is. I've changed my mind. Mom, I'm heading to a motel tonight." She leaned forward, fierce. "You're staying right here. Tonight's for your dad. We're all sad here. Rory, Sky, and Dylan are family. They're always welcome here." I shook my head, angry. "Not when I'm around." "See ya, Mom. Tell me when the funeral is." I started to leave, but then Sky called out, shaky. "Rory, you don't need to go 'cause of me." "Yes, I do. Sky, our family might let cheating slide, not me." I walked more, then Sloane yelled, "Forget you, Rory, you mean jerk." I heard Mom and Sky cry. Sky was a mess. Lila tried to calm her. "It's okay, Sky. Ignore him. He's just mean." I went to my room, grabbed my things, and left. In my car, I yelled and hit the steering wheel hard. What was going on? Why was she here? I tried to calm down, took deep breaths. A knock on my window snapped me back. I rolled it down. Yeah? What's up, Mike? Rory, whatever went down with your family was ages ago. I wasn't here for that. But it's been 10 years, and she's been with this family longer than I have. Come back inside. No, can't do that, Mike. I can't stand her being with my family. They're mine, not hers. You're wrong, man. We're all one big family. I get it, it hurts, but... Dude, it's your dad's funeral. I could just leave, and that's what I did. He didn't want me around. It was clear as day. He didn't even want me to help carry him. That's not right, Rory. I knew your dad well. He talked about you a lot. He missed you. He said so. Yeah, right. Sorry, Mike. Glad to meet you, but wish it was under better times. He moved back as I got in my car and drove off. Heading into town, I stopped for some food. I've been in this place for 20 years, yet it felt like I knew no one. I got my food and sat in a quiet spot. What a mess. What's up with my family? Okay. I had Leland Sloan. They were close, especially Sloan. But my mom and letting Sky call her mom. What was that? The big cheat slept with my best friend in our bed. Then my family took her side, told me to shake it off. It was just a slip-up. What about me? Why couldn't they support me? I caught them in the act. Sky looked so shocked. And Derek? Oh, he was sorry, all right. The punishment I got for hurting him felt almost worth it. My dad was there for me in court. He told the judge the full story, said I wasn't usually violent. It was just in the heat of the moment. Because of his words, I got off with a warning and 300 hours of helping at a place for abused women, of all things. That's when all the trouble began, the day they let me go. I kicked Sky out. She wasn't there when I got home. I packed up her stuff and dumped it outside. When she came back, she was all tears and sorry words. I didn't even look at her, much less speak. I was too mad. I went for a divorce the next day. Sky must have gone to see my folks because soon after, Mom and Dad came over. He looked so serious. Son, you messed up big time, but you gotta stand tall now. She's your wife. You can't just walk away. I was stunned. What about her promises? I fired back. Son, she did a bad thing, that's true, but we talked to her and she feels really sorry about it all. She got tricked. Rory. I always said that boy was no good, but you didn't listen. Tricked by a boy? Come on. All she had to do was say no. Sorry, Pop, but I'm done with her. Rory, I'm asking you, please think it over. She's in a real bad place. Been crying at home for days. She feels so ashamed. I'm worried about her. Well, get rid of her and let her go. Rory Williams, Mom said, upset. You don't mean that. Holding back tears, I said, yes, I do. She cheated and I'm done with her. As they got ready to leave, I gave them the divorce papers. If you see her, hand these over. Mom was in tears and Dad had to help her to the car. Even Sky's mom came by, yelling as soon as I opened the door. That was easy. I just shut it on her face. Felt like everyone was on her side. I just couldn't get why. In the weeks that followed, things got even more heated. My sisters came over mad, leading to big fights. Mom and Dad kept trying to make us talk, but I wouldn't have it. They'd trick me into coming over for dinner and she'd be there too. That just made me madder. The last time she fell to my feet crying. Please, Rory, let me talk. Listen to me. No, not happening. This mess, it's on you. You're only sorry because I caught you. Who knows how many times it happened. If I hadn't seen it, you'd still be at it. Dad came fast and grabbed me. He gave me a hard shake. Stop it. Do you hear me? Just stop. He was mad. She made a mistake. You need to grow up, son. Rory, she's your wife, Mom yelled out. Your wife! I tried to leave, but Dad kept me close. Rory, if you leave now, you can't come back. I won't let my son act like this. If you don't fix this, we're done with you. You have to sit and talk. Sky loves you, and you love her too. I jerked my arm away. You're right, Dad. I did love her. My mistake. It'll never happen again, son. I'm serious. Leave now, and you're out for good. Dad's wild eyes made me angrier. Fine, Dad. If you don't want me, okay, bye. I don't know why you're so mad at me, but it must be something. Sky cheated on me with my best friend, and you're on her side. That's when I left town. I packed my stuff and drove off. That was the last time I saw Dad. It stuck with me. Now, with him gone, I felt awful. I always thought I'd come back and fix things, but life was busy. I lived far away. Work was good, and my art was blooming. I kept putting it off. And now it's too late. In my motel bed, with the noise of cars and horns, my heart was loud. Why did Sky still look so good? After all this time, she was stunning. I remember when we were younger. Sky was Sloane's best pal. She was at our place a lot. Growing up meant having a crush on Sky. She was older by 2 years, and I loved watching her. I thought she was the most beautiful girl. My heart broke when she started going out with boys. She and Sloane had dates. I just tagged along, lost. Sloane didn't like it and kept telling Mom to make me stop. But Sky had my back. He's not bothering anyone, Sloane. Let the kid be. That made me love her even more. Yep, I was hooked. I was in love. It wasn't until after school and I got a job that Sky saw me. It didn't happen right away, but it did happen. Now she was the one after me. She didn't have to work hard. I wasn't running away. Sloane was upset when we got together. It took a while before Sloane and Sky fixed their friendship. Seeing her again brought back all the good times. Moving into our first place, the wedding. I thought we had it all. Sure, we fought. And it was intense. We both cared a lot. When we argued, it got heated fast. But our marriage was strong. I had no idea until I came home early and found her with Derek. They were so into it they didn't even see me. That's when I lost it and went for him. As I mentioned, I'm not usually violent, but that time I just snapped. I hit him while Sky yelled, "Stop it, Rory!" She yelled so loud that the neighbors came in and pulled us apart. Good thing they did, because I couldn't stop myself. That night was long and tough. Waking up, I still felt awful. I walked to a cafe in town for breakfast. I didn't know anyone there. The young girls at the cafe didn't know them. I sat outside, ate, and watched people go by. A few faces sparked memories. After eating, I roamed around town. Not much was different in town. Most shops I knew were still there. But then, the newsstand changed it all. I went for a paper, and what do I see? My God. Rory Williams. Behind the counter, smiling at me, was Jillian Waters. "Hey, Jill, it's been a while." She came around to hug me. "Sorry to hear about your dad, dear." We were all shocked. "Yeah, it came out of nowhere." "How long are you here?" I just shrugged. "Not sure. Dad's goodbye is Thursday, so maybe Saturday." "Staying with your mom?" "No, at the motel up the road." "Still not getting along?" "Kind of. Didn't plan for it, but it happens." She looked sad. "Seen Sky lately? Her kid is adorable, right?" "Saw her at my mom's last night." She played with her red hair. "Want to grab dinner tonight?" "I'm free." "Trying to make a move on me, Jillian?" Her smile was a bit sly. "Maybe." "Sure, I'll get you at 7. I don't have to worry about any angry men?" She laughed. "Nope, divorced and single." "Sorry to hear that, Jillian." She brushed it off. "Don't be. He was awful." I left with my paper and a date. Not too shabby. Back at the motel, I saw a small car go back and forth, then park. Lila got out and went into the reception. Soon after, there was a knock. "Hey, Lil, need something?" "Can I come in, Rory?" I stepped aside, and she entered. We sat by the small table near the window. "We need to talk about the funeral. After you left last night, we decided we want you involved." I nodded. "Thanks, Lil. Means a lot. I'm really sorry for what went down between you and Sky, but you need to let it go. Sky's still a big part of our family. Dad loved her a lot, and he was so fond of little Dylan. We want you to come back home. It's where you belong. We don't like seeing you away. Sorry, Lil. I'd love more than anything to be at home. I came here hoping we could all work through the old hurts. But I can't do that if Sky keeps showing up. I saw how tense she got, Rory. It's been 10 years. After so much time, can't you just move past it? Holding on to anger for so long is tough. I don't understand. I never have. She cheated on me. She was with my best friend in our own place, and you all thought I should just forgive and forget. I can't grasp it. Rory, we get what happened, and we never said it was okay. We just saw how much she cared for you and thought maybe if you could forgive her, things would be better. But I couldn't. And I thought my family would back me up. Not the one who betrayed me so badly. Keeping my cool was hard. Why couldn't you see my side? All the hurt that I had tried to bury came rushing back, and holding back tears got tough. Rory, we were on your side. We all wanted what's good for you. Yes, she made a huge, thoughtless mistake. That guy was trouble. You were the only one who didn't see that. Maybe so. But it was both of them to blame. Right. We all know she messed up big. We accept that. We want you to come home, please. Now's the time for family. We want you with us. And Dad would have wanted that too. Okay, I'll stay. But only if Sky keeps her distance. I don't want her at the house. Rory, that's tough. Mom looks after Dylan while Sky's at work. She'll be around, even at the funeral. So I guess I'll stick around here. If I do, there won't be any fights. But I really want to help carry the coffin. Yes, me too. She drove away and I felt all jittery and on edge. It was clear Sky had someone, her hubby. I kept wondering who he was. Not long after, my mom gave me a ring. Rory, want to come over for dinner tonight? Depends, Mom. Who's going to be there? Just us. So no Sky? It was her idea. She'll pop in, grab Dylan, and head out quick. She'll only stick around for about 10 minutes. Fine, I'll swing by around 6:15 then. Rory, you can be nice for a bit, can't you? It won't hurt. I'd rather not risk it. If we don't run into each other, no worries. Rory, get here this afternoon. We need to talk about the funeral. Want your thoughts. Stepping inside, the wave of feelings hit me as I entered the dining area. Lila got up and we hugged tight. Mom hugged me next, but Sloane didn't get up. We talked about the funeral and Mom asked if I wanted to speak. I quickly said, "Yeah, I do. Who's speaking first?" "Lila and me," Sloane said sharply. "Then I'll go after." We kept talking details. Suddenly, Mom stood up. "Sorry, need to pick up Dylan from school. You could cut the tension with a knife." After Mom left, the room was deadly silent until Sloane snapped. "Why are you so tough on Sky? She always eats with Mom." "I'm not. I just don't want to be there when she is. That's it." "Geez, Rory, Sky and Mom are super close. You're making Mom pick sides." Well, she should have picked when she knew 3 out of 4 of us were hurt by what happened. She should have made her choice back then. We all tried to do what was right. We wanted us to stick together. I didn't want her. I wanted my family to be on my side, not hers. Man, you can act like a kid. We all thought she messed up. But we listened to her. She said she was sorry. She tried to make it right. But you wouldn't talk. Man, Rory, she was hurt. She really loved you. No, she didn't. If she did, she wouldn't have been with Derek. People who love don't go with others. She slipped up. "Rory, you're not perfect. You screwed up lots when you were young, that's true, but I never cheated." The fight got big fast and only stopped when Mom came in with Dylan. He came for hugs from Lila and Sloane. He barely talked to me. He looked afraid of me. Mom coming in calmed things down. Then I remembered. Damn. "Sorry, Mom. I can't stay for dinner. Forgot. I have a date tonight." She looked puzzled. "With who?" "Jillian Waters." "Sorry. Gotta go. Need a shower. My God. You're really going out with her?" Sloane was upset. "Yeah, why not? You call others trashy. Man, Rory. She's been with lots of guys in town, even your friend Derek. That caught me off guard. Made me think again. Sorry, I already told her yes." "Wear a lot of protection," Sloane said mad. "Sloane," Mom snapped. "No need for that." She frowned. "Sorry, Mom. I left with a peck for Mom and Lila. Jillian was fun. We went to a bar and I knew some folks there. Jillian knew everyone. We got drinks and sat quiet. We talked and she was funny. We laughed a lot, ate in the restaurant, then to my motel. The night was fiery. She had a good time and I was happy too. It had been long for me. The next day I went back to my mom's house. We got to talk because the girls were busy. We talked about me, where I lived. Was I seeing anyone? It was nice to talk without being mad. Sloane and Lila came in around lunch. Sloane joked when she saw me. "You made it, Jillian. I don't know what you mean. She's nice. We had a good night. Did you use two, like I said?" Layla laughed, and even Mom smiled a bit. "I used a whole pack, but one by one," I joked. "You're funny." Layla laughed. We ate lunch and talked about the last plans for the funeral. I didn't want to see Dad, but I felt it was time. "I'm going to the funeral home to see Dad. Does anyone want to come?" They all said yes. Walking in felt sad. Funeral homes are never happy. The coffin was open. We came close. He looked calm. I took out a green stone fishhook necklace I made. I put it on him. Mom looked at me. "What's that?" "Just something I made for him. I made it a long time ago, but never gave it to him. I wanted him to have it." Sloane picked it up. "My God, it's pretty. Rory, you made this?" I said yes. "It's my hobby." Mom touched it, feeling the smooth stone. "Rory, it's pretty." "He would have liked it," she said. Sloan, lift your dad's head." As Sloan lifted, Mom put the necklace on him. We all hugged and gave kisses on the ride back. We talked about Dad. He wasn't sick. He died from an aneurysm. It was sudden, but he didn't feel pain. On our way back home, Mom said, "Can we stop by the school? I need to pick up Dylan." As Mom went inside, I asked the girls, "Why does Mom have to pick him up? What's up with Sky's mom?" "She's a mess. That's what's up," Sheila said. "Forget Rory. You know how she is. She makes Jillian Waters look good." Sheila laughed. "If Jillian was with half the guys, then Sky's mom was with the rest." "Wow. Maybe I should give her a lift. She used to look nice." "Don't you dare," Sloan snapped. "Sky would freak out if you did." "Good to know," I laughed. Lila smacked me on the head. "Idiot," she said. Mom came back with Dylan and we went home. He sat with the girls and they all talked about school and stuff. They teased him about a girl he likes. He seemed happy and everyone liked him. While they talked, I asked Mom, "Who's his dad?" She looked at me weird and said, "Ask Sky about that." I just shrugged. Was just curious who she was with. Mom got sharp. "She wasn't with anyone like you think." "Wow, so like a miracle baby? Smart girl, call the church." "When did you become so cold?" "Rory, you used to be kind." My past made me hard to trust. When we got home, Mom asked, "Will you stay for dinner?" "Sure, as long as it's only us." Dylan went out to play. I looked out the window. He was alone, kicking a ball against the shed. "Doesn't he have friends?" I asked. Mom sat by me and looked out too. "Dylan's shy and keeps to himself, a real quiet kid. What about his dad? He doesn't know him? Ran off maybe? I get that. She might have messed him up too." "Stop it right now! Rory, I'm happy you're here, but I won't listen to you badmouth that girl. She's had it tough." "Tough? No way. She doesn't know what tough is." It was Sloan who burst out angry. "She did have it hard after you left her. She fell apart. That was new to me. I never stayed in touch after I left. I just shrugged, saying she got what she deserved. You heartless jerk. I can't believe we're family. She almost died trying to end her life, idiot. If Layla and I hadn't found her, she would have been gone." She started to cry and Mom hugged her to calm her down. I didn't know what to say. I was lost for words. While they hugged, I stood up and went outside for air. Wow, she tried to end it all. That hit me hard. I thought she was just sad because I caught her doing something bad and she felt caught out. I sat on the steps watching Dylan. He seemed to not get on well with others. I got up and asked if I could join him. At first, we just kicked the ball to each other. I then showed him a few tricks. Soon, we were having a blast, pretending to steal the ball from each other. When I let him take it, I acted like I couldn't snatch it back. He laughed hard as we played. It was Mom who yelled out, "Dinner's ready." As we walked in, Mom mentioned Dylan. "Mom's late. You're eating with us?" Dinner was great, like the old days. Layla, Sloan, and I joked around. Mike and Hank joined in, and Mom had to step in when things got too heated. Near the end, Sky came in, all stressed out. "Sorry, Mom, what a day. It just dragged on." Dylan shouted, "Hey, Mom!" The meal felt like a warm throwback, with banter flying and Mom keeping us in check until Sky's entrance brought us back to now. He was next to me, not keen on moving. "Won't you hug me?" She snorted. He just shook his head as she looked his way. Our eyes locked, and for a brief moment I thought she might cry. Mom stood up quickly. "Sit here. We've got plenty for you, too." She seemed surprised. "No, I should leave. Got things to do." I got up. "Take my seat. I'm about to head out." She paused, looked at Sloan and Layla. Something changed in her face. "You don't have to go, Rory. Dylan and I are leaving." "No way, you're staying," Mom insisted. I moved away from the table. "See you tomorrow, Mom." Just as I was getting in the car, Mom came up to me. "Rory, you don't have to go." "Yes, I do. It's better this way. She's moved on. So have I. Maybe Jillian's free tonight." Mom frowned. "Don't. She's not good for you." "Why? Just because she sleeps around?" "Wow, Mom, that's rich." "Just be safe, okay?" I headed back to the motel and called Jillian. She was around, and we ended up at the pub again for dinner. It was a great night. We drank, laughed, played pool, and drank some more while waiting for our turn. I asked Jillian, "What do you know about my ex, Sky?" She took her time, then slowly said, "She tried to end her life before, tried cutting her wrists. Your sister found her." Right then, a guy signaled our pool turn. "Who's her son's dad?" I asked. She shrugged. "Dunno, she wasn't with anyone far as I know. She was a mess when she returned." "So she's alone now?" "Yep, keeps to herself, that one. I think you messed her up." "Me? I haven't seen her with guys. Sure, she was with someone, but she doesn't really hang out with guys." We ended up having a passionate night again, full of desire. She was wild in bed. The night was all about lust, and oh, there was a funeral at 11. I rushed to Mom's place, finding a big crowd there, the whole family, and Sky and Dylan too. When Dylan saw me, he zoomed into a hug. It wasn't his fault. I tried not to think about him being Sky's kid. We hugged, and he stuck by me as we walked over to everyone. Hank and Mike greeted me warmly. Lila and Sloan hugged me tight, almost melting into me. "It's okay, Mom, we've got you," I said. She leaned on me, crying hard. Sloan and Lila joined our hug. It was a touching moment. Dylan was right by me, and Mom asked to pick him up. "Son," I said, lifting him. Mom hugged us both. "I love you, Nana," Dylan said. "I love you too, darling," she answered. I saw Sky, tears rolling down her face. The funeral was big. Dad was loved by many. Lila and Sloan tried to read the eulogy, but it was tough for them. They clung to each other, barely speaking. Mom nudged me. "Help them, please." So I went up and took over with both of them hugging me. I wasn't much better, but we made it through together. They were about to leave, but I asked them to stay with me for my part. Honestly, I needed them just as much. Later, back at the house, with the crowd gone, we listened to Dad's songs and looked through countless photos. I was amazed by how many photos there were of Dad and Dylan, some with Sky. It was clear how close Dad and Dylan had been. I couldn't stop looking at Sky's wrists, and yes, the scars were there. I found myself in a close chat with Hank and Mike, with our minds a bit fuzzy. We shared some deep talks. I spilled some fun tales about my sisters, which got some big laughs. In our chat, I dropped the big question. Who was Dylan's dad? As I asked, the chat paused. They looked at each other with worry. Mike leaned in close, real serious-like. "If you want to know that, go ask your mom or Sky. We're not telling. But you know, right?" I pushed. They both nodded. This secret troubled me, and I knew it was something bad. Looking at Dylan, cozy by Mom, I guessed he was about 10 and wondered. A cold feeling hit me. Was Derek the dad? That had to be it. No wonder it was a hush-hush thing. That thought bugged me a lot. As we kept talking, I asked, "So has she seen anyone?" "She's mostly at home. She's here with your mom a lot." "Man, she'd be lost without your family," they said. Sure, call me a jerk," I sighed. They both chuckled. Hank was like, "Man, in your spot, I'd feel the same." I had a go at Lila, told her to back off. "Thanks, pal." My family always casting me as the villain, that sucked. Sloan filled me in, and I said they were wrong. I didn't get her thinking, but it seemed tied to Sky and her mom. Her mom's tough, a real piece of work. Sky had it rough growing up, Mike jumped in. "I know, she was my wife, I know her past." This whole mess hurt. It wasn't just the cheating. "You mean you'd have let it go?" Hank chuckled. "No way, that's not what I meant. I meant I wouldn't have been so upset. We could have been okay in the same room after a while. No. What really got to me was my whole family trying to push us back together. That made me even more mad. Mate, they just felt bad for her. Sloan told me you two seemed like the perfect pair, best friends, lovers, doing everything together. Sloan made you out to be this dream team meant to last." I nodded. "Yeah, I agree. But then she cheated on me. I mean, how do you let that go?" "I don't know, mate. I don't think I could," Hank said. "Me neither," Mike chimed in. "So what's up then? You see it." "Sorry, mate, I've got no answers. All I know is she's still not over you." "What?" "No way. Not after so long. Sorry. But she's been at our place, crying to Sloan every night since you came back. Rory, she's not moved on. Whenever we meet up and she's had a bit to drink, it's always Rory, Rory, Rory. She's hooked." God. I sighed as the evening went on. We all had a few drinks and it started to show. I kept away from Sky, but as we drank more, that got harder. Every time I looked her way, she was looking at me. And when I caught her eye, she seemed guilty and ashamed. I decided it was time to leave. I didn't want to fight with Sky to ruin my dad's farewell. I made it home and said, "I'm heading back to the motel. I'll see you in the morning before I leave." She frowned big time. "You can't drive. Look at you. You should stay. No, I'll get a cab. She hugged me tight. Why not stay? Rory, the bed's empty. Mom, I don't want to ruin today. I have to go before Sky and I start a fight. What? Don't be silly. Why would you fight? 'Cause I don't want to be near her. Let's not make this a big deal. She's keeping to herself. She made me feel so bad I had to say yes. One by one, the guests left until it was just me, Mom, and Sky. The air felt thick with awkwardness. Guys were chatting away and I was all by myself. I'm off to bed, I shouted. No, join us, dear, Mom begged with those eyes that you just can't say no to. As I got close, she hugged me tight and I couldn't help but cry. What will I do, Rory? How can I go on without him? It'll be okay, Mom. The girls are just around, I said. I miss him so much. You don't get it, losing someone. Really, Mom? I snapped back. He was everything to me, she said. I hugged her. It'll get a bit better each day. Sky was standing by, looking all sorts of awkward. Mom saw her move away and reached out. Come here, love. Sky gave a small, shaky smile. Just as she came closer, I stepped away. I'm hitting the sack. Night. Rory, Mom sighed. This could be a good time for you two to chat. There's stuff you should know. No need, Mom, I'm good. I'll be off to Auckland tomorrow. She seemed let down. So you're just gonna leave me here? No. Why not come stay with me for a bit? I've got extra room and Shane wouldn't mind. Mom looked lost. Shane? Who's that? My other half. She didn't come because we haven't talked in ages. Didn't want her first time meeting the fam to be rough. Oh my, why didn't you mention it? Never seemed like the right time. Wanted to keep the focus on Dad. Sky quietly stepped back. I looked at her, and she had her hand on her mouth. She seemed more shocked than Mom. Sky was so upset that Mom took her arm, and they went outside. This was my chance to hide in my room. Even with the door closed, I could hear Sky crying. Mom was trying to make her feel better. It sounded awful, but I was too out of it and fell asleep. When I woke up, I had a huge headache. My head hurt bad. My eyes were sore, and I felt sick. I took a shower and got dressed. Went to the kitchen and made tea. I went outside and saw Dylan was already up, had eaten and was ready for the day. As we sat, he asked, Will you miss your dad? Yes, Bud. I miss him now. He was nice. My dad. Yes, he was. You'll miss him too, huh? He nodded. He helped me with schoolwork and played with me. He was going to get me a bike. Really? A bike. I bet Nana will get it for you. No, Mom said I can't ask her because she doesn't have a lot of money. As we sat and I finished my tea, I said, How about we go and get the bike? His face shone and he was so surprised. Really? Yes. Go get your shoes and we'll head out now. We got in the car and drove to town. As soon as I stopped, he ran into the shop, heading straight for the red bike in the window. When I caught up to him, he was all excited about the bike. His happiness made me feel better. I understood why Dad wanted to buy him the bike. Then I saw the price tag, $1,500. Wow, I had promised. I couldn't back out now. Should have checked the price. The nice shop guy gave us a new helmet too, and we went home. We had to put it together once we got back. We were in the yard when Mom and Sky came out looking like they hadn't slept at all. Mom looked bad, but she didn't get to rest. Dylan ran inside yelling, Mom, Nana, come see my new bike. Uncle Rory got it for me. What? Sky yelled. They all rushed out. Mom looked shocked. Sky was mad. She pretended to care, but as soon as he left for a ride, she lost it. What are you doing? You don't care about us. You know Dad was going to get him the bike. I wanted to help. I thought you'd be happy. Happy? It's easy for you. Show off with your money, then vanish for 10 more years. She started crying hard and Mom hugged her. What do you mean 10 more years? It's not my fault. What? Sky was mad. I don't know who the kid's dad is, but he left you too. Rory, stop. You're Dylan's dad, Mom said quietly. I was shocked. What do you mean? I'm the dad? Sky's voice shook. I was pregnant when we broke up. How do you know he's mine? For goodness sake, look at him, son. He looks just like you. No way, he looks like Derek. Sky was very mad. You left us. I raised him alone. Where were you? He's not mine, Sky. Mom sat down out of breath. He is yours. Rory, your dad and I got tests. We hope to tell you. Sky yelled at Mom. What? Why? You said you believed me. I did. But we needed to be sure. I don't believe you. That's too easy. Prove it. She glared at me. Mom went inside and came back with a big envelope. Read it. She left us looking at each other in an awkward silence. The proof was clear on the page. Sky wanted to see it too. We all sat down hard on the steps. Why didn't you tell me, Mom? We tried, but you were nowhere to be found. We heard you went off to Australia and then lost track. We did all we could, but no luck. Why did you go to Derek knowing you had a baby on the way? I didn't. I found out at the hospital. She looked sorry. Really sorry. I'm sorry, Rory. I've been wanting to say that, but you wouldn't hear me out. I felt so bad. I don't know why I went to him. I am really sorry. Yeah. Sorry you got found out, more like. That was the one time, Rory. I mean it. Just one time. Why? You didn't even like him. She cried again hard. I don't know. I've asked myself over and over and I just don't know. You're right. I can't stand him, yeah? Your way of showing it is odd. I messed up. Big time. I don't know why. I just did. He was always there, always saying nice things. He did it so much. And one time I just slipped. I was weak. No excuses. It was dumb. Mom and Sky hugged tight as they rocked. Mom looked up at me with big, wet eyes. I couldn't talk. My mind was a mess. Mom wanted me to say something, anything, but I just couldn't. Dylan ran into the yard fast, stopping with a big grin. He ran and hugged me tight. Thanks, Uncle Rory. This is the best. I hugged him back, feeling everything shift because he was mine. It's okay, buddy. I'm happy you love it. Pops would be happy too, Mom said. He would. Holding him, I didn't want to let go, but he needed to hug his grandma and Mom too. He didn't let anything stop him from hopping on his bike again. And just like that, he was off. I got up and walked around. So what now? Sky laughed, but it was not a happy sound. Nothing. You go back to your wife in Auckland and Dylan and I keep going. We did fine without you. We don't need you. I saw Mom wince at Sky's harsh words. Honey, things must change now. Why? Sky was quick to answer. He didn't care before and we were okay. He doesn't need to start now. But sweetie, that's not right. Dylan is Rory's boy. He has rights. As I walked lost in thought, I knew I couldn't just leave. I'll send money every week, Sky. If I had known, I'd have done so already. I'm not one to dodge my duties. Liar, she yelled. You left me. You had duties. You didn't let me say sorry. You just left. I didn't leave. You pushed me away. You didn't let me fix things. I know I messed up big. You fell out of love with me, but I kept loving you. Oh yeah? Did you love me while you were with Derek, huh? I asked, my gaze shifting from her to Mom. Well, did you? She winced, her hands trying and failing to stop her tears. I messed up. I did a dumb thing and I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I don't know what to say, Sky. All I know is I loved you. I trusted you with everything I had, and you broke it all, took my heart and smashed it. I loved you. I gave you my all, and it wasn't enough. You didn't let me try to be more. She got up and ran to me. It wasn't about that. I love you. Then why? If things were good, why? She held me tight. I don't know. Can't you see? I don't know. How can I trust you again? If you can't say why, how will I know it won't happen again? Rory, please, believe me, it should never have happened. I regret it every day. I'm really sorry I hurt you so much. It made me feel so down and sad. I'm going to stick close by for a few days, Mom. This is a lot to take in. I need some time to think it over. Sky was in her arms. She let one arm go and waved me over for a kiss as I came close to kiss her. She wrapped me up into their hug. Rory, love, you and Sky have a kid together for Dylan's sake. You guys need to get along, at least be pals. I walked to my car, and as I was about to get in, Dylan rushed up to me. Where are you off to, Uncle Rory? Not sure, kid. I just need some air and a walk. He looked sad. Will you be back? I tousled his hair. Yep, kid. I'll be back. He ran off around the house, and I headed down the road. My head was filled with so many thoughts and feelings. It made no sense. Man, I had a son. Realizing I missed 10 years hit hard. It hurt. 10 years. Goodness. The boy had his struggles. Clearly wasn't great around others. Shy and timid. Sky had done well with him. He was smart, not dumb. Just bad at talking. Needed kids to play with. I ended up driving to the cemetery. I sat by Dad's grave and just let it all out to him in the sky. I'm not one for prayer, but I hoped he heard me. I asked to be forgiven. I asked what I should do. The sun went down and it got dark. When I drove back to Mom's, it was just her there. She gave me a big hug. How was your walk? It was long. I can't make sense of it, Mom. I don't know what to do. Dylan needs you. Mike and Hank are all right. They hang out with him, but they're always busy. What Dylan needs is a dad. You think I should come back to live here? No, that's not what I'm saying. He just needs to know you're his dad. He needs to talk to you, see you. Yes. But he'll think I left him on purpose for 10 years. He won't be mad at you. That boy doesn't know how to be mad. I would have been there for him, Mom. I would have. I know that, Rory. I never doubted that. What about Shane, that lady you've been seeing? We're keeping it light. We don't share a house. How long have you two been together? Around 2 years, I guess. But you don't live together? No. She comes over some nights, but she loves her space. Doesn't want to be locked down. Oh my. What does that mean? It means she's not ready to stick to just one person. I could see Mom didn't get it. She was confused. Look, Mom, it's a light thing. She meets other folks, and so do I. It's fine for us right now. Goodness. Kids these days. That sounds not right. You were fine when Sky cheated on me, though. She was shocked. That's not true. I never said it was okay. What Sky did was wrong, and I told her so. She said sorry, and she was so sad. She asked your dad and me for help to save what you had. Your dad and I thought about it and said we would. She was so upset and sorry, she gave me a sad smile. Honey, you two were perfect for each other. You loved her from the start. You always found ways to be near her. Your dad and I were so happy when you two got together because she was a great girl. And we knew she loved you. Still does. We messed up as much as Sky. We tried to push you back together. That was wrong. Yes, it was, I whispered. Honey, your dad and I are sorry for what we did. He missed you a lot. He loved you. We learned our lesson. You're here now. And I want us to be close again, like before. I want that too. Mom, when I said you could come stay with me, I meant it. I do have space. But what about Shane? I don't think she'd like me there. Mom, Shane's cool. She's a bit out there, but kind. You might like her, you know. Then there's Dylan. What's the plan for him? I'm not sure. I'll start sending Sky some cash when I can. I want him to know I'm his dad. I hope he takes it okay. Could you visit during school breaks? Spend some time with him? It's not that simple, Mom. I work full time. I only get 3 weeks off a year. But he could come stay with me. I bet Shane would lend a hand while I'm at work. Mom made a face. I don't think that's fair. Sky wouldn't let him go if she knew another woman was watching him. All right. What if you came with him? You could hang out with him during the week, and I'd be there at night and on weekends. Yeah, I think she'd go for that. We need to talk to her about it. She got up and made a call before I could say more. She came back smiling. She's on her way over. Help me with dinner, okay? Cooking with Mom felt like going back in time. She showed me how to cook when I was little, and I've always loved it. Sky and Dylan arrived just as we were serving dinner. Dylan ran to his nan for their usual hug. Then it was my turn for a hug. I felt him hug me tight. Sky hugged Mom, then turned to me. Hey, Rory. My heart was pounding. I opened my arms for a hug. She looked shocked, then looked at Mom. Slowly, she moved in for a hug. I can't describe it. I felt lighter. Holding her felt right. The anger I held onto for so long started to melt away. It was like getting rid of poison from a bad cut. Her tears fell on me as she hugged tight, her hands pressing into my skin. She shook with sobs. Dylan, close by, felt it too and joined in, wanting to be part of the moment. It was Mom who snapped us back to reality. Dinner's getting cold, she said. We slowly let go and sat down. Sky couldn't stop looking at me, a small smile on her face. Mom spoke softly. We need to tell Dylan about what we talked about today. Sky nodded, though she looked worried. Let me do it. She reached for Dylan's hand. Honey, we need to talk about your dad. His face showed he was worried, confused. You know how I said your dad left? She looked at Mom, then at me, and back to Sky. He took a sharp breath. Honey, Rory here, he's your dad. I made a mistake. I never told him about you. He just found out. Dylan pulled back, shocked. Sky held his hand tight, trying to comfort him. Dylan, Rory wants to be in your life. He looked at me, unsure. You're my dad? I nodded, feeling heavy. Yes, it wasn't your mom's fault. We had a fight and I left. She didn't know where to find me. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. It hit him hard. He banged his fork down, food flying everywhere. He yanked his hand away and ran off. The door to his room slammed shut, and Sky started crying. "We shouldn't have told him. Oh no, what did we do?" Mom got up and hugged her. "He'll be okay. He just needs some time. Let's wait a bit, then we'll go and talk." They left for Dylan's room while I cleaned up. About an hour later, Mom came out, hugged me, and told me, "Go talk to them, but be kind. No shouting." I found Sky and Dylan close on his bed. I sat next to him and put my arm around him. "I'm sorry I wasn't here, Dylan. If I knew about you, I'd have been here sooner." He leaned on me, his arms wrapping around me. Skylar leaned in and kissed his cheek, running her fingers through his hair. "Dylan, baby, I love you." She looked at me and said, "We both love you a lot. Rory wants to be in our life, and I think we need to let him, to make him feel sure." I leaned and gave him a cheek kiss. "Your mom's right, Dylan. I do love you, and I want to be in your life, but you're not here. No, I'm not. But you can come stay with me, and I can visit a lot. We can talk every day." Sky made a face. "Like I said, we haven't talked about some things." A big frown appeared. We sat quiet for a while. Then Mom asked from the door, "Ready for dessert? We're having ice cream and jelly." That made us all smile. Dylan ran to his nan and they went to the dining room. Sky looked at me. "Rory, we need to talk about these things. I'm not sure about Dylan staying with you. We can figure it out, Sky. Really, I won't push it. It won't happen until you're okay with it. I just want to be in his life." She came closer, her arms around me, head on my shoulder. I hugged her. She moved closer. We felt warm together. "I'm sorry, Rory, for everything. No more sorry, Sky. It's done. It's in the past. We both messed up. We all did. Dylan matters most now. I need to be there for him. I feel really bad for missing out. I need to make it right." "You forgive me?" she whispered. "Yes, Sky, I forgive you. Can we move on? Let me be in Dylan's life? Yes, he needs a dad." Over the next few days, Sky took me to see where Dylan goes to school. She showed me his teachers, and I learned about where he was having trouble. We played a lot of football together. Even Sky joined in. I helped him with his schoolwork. Every night, Sky and Dylan stayed at Mom's place, and we all got closer by the end of the week. Leaving made me sad. We all hugged a lot and cried. The 3 days driving back gave me time to think about my life. Shane was happy to see me, and we shared a deep love that night. After, I shared my thoughts. She was surprised when I talked about Dylan staying with us and my wish for us to live together as a real family. He needs that. I said, "Shane, I want us to be a real couple. I want you to move in. I want Dylan to have a real family." Shane was taken back. "Wow, babe, that's a lot. I do love you, but that's a big step." I told her how I felt for a while. I wanted us to be serious. We hugged, but she didn't seem to take it well. Shane was honest and said she wasn't ready for what I wanted. Things got weird between us then. And you know what? I didn't miss the unsure times. I thought I was okay with just casual fun, but it was always a bit of a problem for us. She even said no to going out for dinner a few times. "Sorry, babe. I have a date tonight. Can't make it," she said the first time. That hurt a lot, but I kind of saw it coming. She was always clear about keeping things light from the start. It sounds good at first. Casual fun, no ties. I talked myself into thinking it's what I wanted. If you can't beat them, join them. After that first upset, I was almost ready to give up. But she eased my worries with passion. Bit by bit, I got okay with her seeing other men. As we got closer, she saw them less. I hoped we'd be just us too. But when I wanted us to be just us, things went bad. It seemed every call, she was busy. My life was in Richmond. I spent nights with Dylan, helping him study. Talking to Sky became our thing too. We chatted about what was new with them. We talked money, and I gave what I could. Having Mom and my sister back meant a lot. We kept in touch. When Sloane shared her big news, it was huge online. The school break coming up took over our chats. Mom was thrilled she and Dylan would visit. But Sky, I could tell, wasn't into it. Dylan couldn't wait, always chatting about plans and stuff he saw online. Sky didn't seem into it. Mom saw it too and said Sky might not come. That made me mad. I said, "I have rights. I'll fight if I need to." "Rory, my dear, take it easy," she said. "Sky's just nervous. Talk to her. Be kind." She then told me how Jillian Waters had praised me. We talked more, then Mom had an idea. But don't get upset, she warned. Curious, I said, okay, tell me. What if Sky joined us? She suggested. You have room. I was taken aback. I'm not sure that's a good idea. Mom, Rory dear, you two have been getting along well lately. You chat and there are no fights. If she joined us on our first trip, she'd see you're not out to take Dylan. She'd realize you're not trying to kick her out. This house is small, just 2 rooms. If you ask her, I bet she'd agree to sleep on the couch. I'm suggesting this because I know she's worried. She thinks you want to push her away, and I know she's jealous about our trip. She wanted to be with Dylan on his big adventure. Yeah, okay, Mom, I'll consider it. But if this is a plan you two made, I'll be really upset. Rory, my love, as much as I'd like to see you two get along, I'm not poking my nose into your business. I know you're already seeing someone, and I don't want this to mess that up. All I want is for you to be okay with who I'm with. Shane, it's pretty much over. I wasn't worried about that. What made me uneasy was being around Sky. My feelings for her had changed since the funeral, and lots of old memories came back in my dreams. Having her here with me would make it tough to ignore. A few days later, my decision was made for me. Dylan and I were working on his schoolwork over Skype, and we just finished his. Sky said it was his bedtime. We said, I love you. And he was gone as I was about to log off. Sky said softly, Can we talk, please? She went to tuck Dylan in, and then her face filled the screen, and she didn't look pleased. Rory, I know we've been planning this for a bit, but I'm anxious. I don't want to lose Dylan. He's so pumped. I'm afraid he won't want to come back. Then come with him. I blurted out before I could stop myself. What? She barely got it out. Are you for real? Can get time off work? She leaned back in her seat, and I saw her clearly. She looked thoughtful. Sure, I might do that, but it's too much money. I'll pay. Sky, it's not about taking over. I don't want to steal him. I missed 10 years. I need to fix that. If you want to come, tell me. I'll get another flight. Rory, I'd love to, but it's not just work that keeps me. What's up then? Our bond, it means a lot. I don't want to lose it. Why would it change? Her words made me mad, confused me. I don't know, Rory. It's hard to say. Seeing you with someone else, Mom said you two were a thing for 2 years. I don't want to mess that up, Sky. Shane and I are done. That's past. No fights, but we wanted different things. She looked sad. Sorry, Rory. Hope it's not 'cause of me and Dylan. No, it's more than that. I wanted us to be real serious. She didn't. She loves being free too much. That sounds cold. No, she's not. We were clear from the start. It just ended, so don't worry. I want you and Dylan to come. Beds are tight. I've got a 2-bedroom place. One will have to crash on the sofa. She laughed, a sound that filled me with warmth. I missed that laugh. It's something special about her. I love that laugh. It's been so long since I heard it. I'll take the sofa. We can swap. You mean sleep in your bed again? Just kidding. I saw that. But she stopped smiling and looked away. I'm sorry. She called the next day, said she got time off. I booked the flight. Mom called that night. That was kind, Rory. Thanks. I went to get them from the airport. Dylan spotted me as I stood by the gates. He ran straight into my arms. We hugged tight. Then Mom hugged me too. As she stepped back, I saw Sky looking sad and out of place. I opened my arms and waved her over for a hug. Dylan was amazed by how big the place was. It was his first time out of small-town America. Mom was shocked by the changes, too. It had been ages since she last visited Auckland. Driving over the harbor bridge, everyone was excited. When we got to my house in Takapuna, Mom let out a big sigh. The flight here was busy. Inside, I started making tea. The others explored the house. Sky seemed overwhelmed. I felt a bit like that, too. Seeing her in my house felt different. She looked so nice. She wore a simple but pretty outfit. Her skirt was short, catching my eye. Her white blouse was light, with her hair tied back, showing her bright, sparkling eyes. We sat down with our tea, and Dylan ran outside to explore. So, what do you think? I asked. Mom laughed. You surprised me. I thought I'd see a mess, dishes everywhere, but look at you, all tidy. You've always been like that, Sky added. I mentioned, there's a bunk bed in the spare room. Dylan can have the top. You two can decide on the rest. I'll take the bunk, Sky said quickly. Dylan wanted to see the beach. Mom needed a rest. So Dylan, Sky, and I went to the beach. Dylan ran ahead into the water while Sky and I walked along. Thanks for inviting me, she said. I didn't mean to be mean. I just felt left out and jealous. I didn't think you were being mean, I replied. It's all right. So you could join his fun and start to feel okay with him staying with me. Your house is really nice, Rory. It's so close to the beach, too. Lucky me, I got it before prices went crazy. I couldn't buy it now. It's nice here and feels quite safe. Yeah, our area doesn't see much bad stuff happening. Just a short walk down the beach and we hit the spot where you can launch boats. Across the way, there was a place to eat. Ice cream? I asked. She rang Dylan, and we went to grab ice cream and a drink. We chatted about normal stuff. Sloane's baby on the way. Sky's job. She helps at the drugstore, mainly with the photo machine. When we got back, Dylan woke up Mum. She came out looking worried. What's wrong, Mom? It's Sloane. She needed some tests done. The doctor's worried. She sounded scared. Sky didn't wait. She was on the phone in no time and stepped out to talk to Sloane. Mum looked tense. To calm her down, we hugged. She'll be okay, Mum. Mike will take care of her. It's just that Mike's not here. He's away in Christchurch for training. Layla will be there for her. She sighed deeply. Yes, dear, she will. But I'll still worry. We had a light meal and Dylan wanted to hit the beach. Mom and Sky were talking to Sloane again, so he and I went out. A bunch of kids were playing ball on the beach. Dylan seemed amazed. We sat and watched. Why not join them? I suggested. He hesitated. He wanted to, but was too shy to ask. I grabbed his hand and stood. Hey, can we play too? I shouted. They signaled us over. Soon he was in the mix. I slowly stepped back and watched. He was having so much fun. So I shouted, Dylan, I'm heading back. He waved by and forgot about me quick. At home, Sky looked worried. Where's Dylan? Down at the beach with the kids next door. What? She yelled and ran to the beach. Mom just shook her head. She won't let him be big. 20 minutes later, Sky came back smiling big. Can't believe it, she said. Kinda not sure. 10 mins here and he's more liked than in 10 years back home. Mom, he's so happy. He came back when it got dark. We heard him say bye to his new friends by the gate. Getting him to sleep was tough. He was too excited. Mom went to bed early, so it was just Sky and me. That scared me. Being with her, with all these feelings around. We talked about lots. Her work, my run to Australia, and the 2 years I worked up and down the East Coast. Out of nowhere, she asked. You must have had lots of girlfriends? A few, I said low. I didn't say much, but yeah, I knew some girls. What about Shane? That her in the photo by your bed. Yeah, that's her. She's real pretty. Yes, and a real nice person. We wanted different things. What's that mean? She wanted things to stay the same. I wanted more. Did you love her? She asked, slow, scared of what I might say. I'm not sure. I liked her. We were kind of together 2 years. Now I'm not sure it was love. You said she saw other guys. Did you see other girls? A few. Not a lot. I didn't really want to. I guess I did it to show her I could. Sounds weird. Yeah, maybe. What about you? She shook her head. No, I've got time. That's not true. You had time, and I know lots of guys wanted you. She laughed. No one wants to date a crazy girl? What about Derek? What? I didn't even like him. Never did. So you slept with him? Yes. Messed up, right? Why, Sky? That question has haunted me. I don't know, I can't explain it. I had just gotten home from work, and there he was, with some made-up story about looking for you. I told him you were at work, but instead of leaving, he stayed. He got us beers, and we sat down to chat. And then suddenly we were doing it. I don't remember a thing about it. To this day, I don't recall how it happened. Do you think he drugged you? I asked, uncertain. What? No, he wouldn't do that. She gasped, but her confused look showed she wasn't sure. I watched her try to remember the details. I don't know, Rory, it was 10 years ago. I only remember being in bed with him on top of me. Then seeing the shock on your face and realizing what happened. I remember screaming. What happened to him? I asked. I don't know, he left town, moved to Christchurch. He wanted me to go with him, but I couldn't. I hated him even more after that. She looked angry. I wish you had hurt him, but that would mean you going to jail. I didn't want that. If the neighbors hadn't come, I might have hurt him. She winced. Was I next? What? No, I could never have done that. I don't know, Rory, you were so mad, so angry. What happened after? I asked, trying to change the topic. She sniffed, wiped her tears, and whispered quietly, I fell apart. Realized I ruined our life, all our plans, everything we wanted. I lost it. She sobbed hard. I tried to end my life. Such a fool. So selfish. It wasn't until I was in the hospital that I found out I was pregnant. I couldn't stand to see her cry. I hugged her close. She leaned on me, her head on my chest. I can't believe how silly I was. Dylan could have been gone with me. I'm glad you didn't make it happen, I whispered in her sweet hair because of Dylan. Yes, in part, for sure. But the thought of you going like that hurts. I felt so bad when Mom told me. It's not your fault, Rory. It was all my doing. I was dumb. I failed you. I failed myself, and I let down your family. We sat close in silence for a long time, our bodies pressed in the heavy air. Auckland gets like that this season. It was almost midnight before we went back inside. Good night, Sky. She made a slight face. Good night, Rory. Thanks for having me. The next few days were busy. We hit the zoo, Kelly Charlton's motet. We played the tourist hard. I wanted to show them everything with so little time. Dylan was like a new kid. The neighbors' kids became his friends on day one, and they hung out every day. They fixed up an old bike so he could ride with them. They got along great. Mom, though, started to worry. She got more anxious with each day. Near the end of the week, she pulled me to one side. Rory, you don't need me here. Sky can watch Dylan when you're at work next week. I need to go back for Sloane. It was sad to see her leave, but she was right. Sloane needed her. I kept thinking about that day. Derek knew when I worked. He knew I wouldn't be there. He wouldn't know Sky was there unless he was watching her. But why? He liked her. I saw him looking at her too much. He always laughed it off. But I did tell him off a few times. What Sky said stayed in my head. Why did he come? Was he just a jerk? Did he just want to sleep with my wife? Was she even telling the truth? Maybe she made up the story. It didn't add up. We focused on making Dylan's holiday fun. We went on short trips to all the nearby pretty spots. During that time, Sky and I got really close. When the neighbors asked Dylan if he wanted to stay over for the night, he was super excited. He packed his bag and left in no time. It left Sky and me with some free time. I thought, why not? Sky, want to go out for dinner tonight? Her face lit up and she acted all happy like a seal. Really? That would be so cool. I haven't been to dinner with anyone but you. Then get ready. Let's go. I changed and then I waited until she came out looking amazing. Her dress was simple, just a basic black dress, but it was how she wore it. She's always been slim and toned, kind of like a cat. She didn't exercise or run. She just had one of those bodies. She looked stunning. And I told her, "Wow, you look great." She blushed. "Thanks. You're too kind." We went to a place we like and had a good meal. Our conversation was easy and fun. Until I felt a tap on my back, I turned and there was Shane. "Hey, Rory. How's it going?" She leaned in and we kissed quickly. She wanted a longer kiss, but it was just a peck. "Who's this?" she asked. "This is Sky. Sky, this is Shane." They shook hands briefly. Then Shane gasped. "Hold on. No way. Is this your ex? The one you were so mad at?" "Stop it, Shane." "No need for that." I saw Sky's face drop. She looked like she might cry, and it hurt. "Shane, maybe leave us be. You're probably here on a date. Go bother him." "Hey, I didn't mean to intrude." She left quickly, but the mood was ruined. "You really were that mad at me," Sky said. "You hated me that much?" "Yeah, at that time I did. I was so mad, and I felt that way for a long time. Man, Sky, you broke my heart." She got up fast. "I think we should head back." She dashed off and I rushed to pay before following her. Sky was by the car, upset. Inside, she fell apart, not just tears, but a meltdown. I tried to hug her, but she pushed me away. "Take me to your place. If you want to end me, do it there." "Sky," I said, "I was mad when I said those things. I'm over it. I just wanted a good night with you." "Did you know she'd be there? Was this to get back at her?" "No, that's crazy. I had no clue she'd be there. Sorry it went down like that." "Does she know everything?" "Kinda. She might think I'm trash." "Well, who cares what she thinks?" "I don't. But it still hurts." Sky cried, her makeup a mess. At home, she went straight to her room, leaving me to wonder what just happened. Sky hadn't been keen on us, then suddenly wanted to connect. I went to bed but heard her cry. I wanted to comfort her but couldn't. The next morning was cold. Sky ignored me. As I left, I gave her the car keys. "Take the car, I'll bus." The day dragged on. Work was tough. Coming home, a great smell hit me. Dylan hugged me. Sky peeked out with a shy smile. "Rory, sorry about last night. I shouldn't have flipped. Let me make it up?" "Sure, it's all good. What's cooking?" "Sweet and spicy pork burgers and super hot chicken skewers." "Wow, if they taste as great as they smell, we're in for a treat." Dylan walked up slow and asked, "Can my pal Joseph stay the night? Mom said I gotta ask you first." Sky got close and spoke soft. Her eyes begged. She knew how to make me feel bad. I bent down and picked him up. "Sure he can. Is Joseph eating with us?" "He's welcome." He ran off to tell Joseph the good news. "Thanks, Rory. I've been saying that a lot," she mentioned. "I don't think you'll thank me later." "You won't get any sleep tonight," she shrugged. "I can handle it. You don't get it. Dylan never gets this close with other kids. It's big." "Is that why you said sorry for last night?" "No," she snapped, a bit mad. "I was really bad last night. Dylan and his buddy came running back in and Quiet was gone. Dylan had to show his new video games. That's when I got them to run to the bedroom." Sky laughed. "How did you do that? He never listens to me." Dinner was great, and right after, Joe and Dylan vanished to the bedroom. I helped Sky clean up and we settled in with some beers. We chatted a bit about Shane. I said her not caring shocked me. "Rory, you don't see it. She was so into you. She's mad because I'm here. She may not even know it." "Wow, you sound like a shrink." "I've learned. I spent lots of time talking to them over 10 years. Some of it stayed." She leaned close. We sipped our beers. Sky couldn't really handle her drink and got silly after a few. It was one thing I really loved about her. I played some music and we just relaxed. Soon her head was on my shoulder. Her sweet breath swept over me as she sang. It felt amazing. Really good. When she drank her beer, the cold bottle touched my skin. It made me shiver. My neck hairs stood up. Then Sloane called Sky. They started talking like they always do. I got up to see what the boys were up to. They got me to play with them easily. It was late when I came back to the lounge. Sky was done talking and had a beer for me. "How's Sloane?" I asked. "She's happier now that Mom's with her," she said with a smile. "Your mom's amazing." "Yeah," I replied. "I'm upset I missed so much time with her. She's more upset, though. She really missed you, Rory. You leaving hurt her." "Yeah, it was tough. They kept pushing. They wouldn't let me be sad. They kept saying, 'You have to forgive, Sky.'" She tensed up. "I'm sorry, Rory. They thought they were helping. I know, but it just messed me up. I'm stubborn." The more they pushed, the more I resisted. Then she put her hands around my head, running her fingers through my hair. Her fingers soothed Sky. I took a deep breath. "No, don't, Rory." Her lips touched my skin, making me shiver. Her lips were so warm, so soft, like soft cushions, but wet. I turned to her. I wanted to say stop, but my hand touched her face, moved to her head, and we kissed. It was a deep, intense kiss. Her lips pressed against mine, her tongue tangled with mine. It was strong, like a fight, more moving than dancing. I couldn't breathe. My heart raced as she leaned close, her chest pressing tight against me. She let out a soft, happy sound. I answered with a deep, rushed breath. My heart thumped louder and stronger. As she moved closer, I could feel her heart beat against me. It was like her whole body was alive with it. I could feel the tiny hairs on her arms standing up. Wow, the air between us crackled with energy. Her voice was a whisper in my ear. "Take me to bed, please." I didn't want to, or did I? Then why did I stand and let her into my bedroom? Why did I gently take off her clothes? My hands moved over her white skin, so soft and smooth. Our love was wild and fierce, then gentle and sweet. Morning came with a kiss that filled the day with joy. The day at work went fast and I hurried home. Sky greeted me with a kiss. It felt like a continuation from last night. Dylan was out with his pals, giving us time alone. We chatted, laughed, and enjoyed small things like holding hands. Dylan came back just before dinner, running in for a hug. I was amazed at how fast he got used to things. The day they left was tough. There were lots of tears. Dylan clung to me and wouldn't let go. His hands held on tight. Sky had to gently pull him away with a final wave. They went through the gates. Halfway there, Dylan ran back for one more hug. "I'll miss you, Dad." His words made me lose it, and I cried. "I'll miss you too, son. I'll call every day," I promised. Sky came back to fetch him. As we hugged, I whispered with tears. He called me Dad. She gave me a soft kiss. "I heard, love. He loves you, Rory. Just like she did back in Amarillo." I couldn't believe how empty and quiet it felt without them. There was no joy, no loud kids running all over. It wasn't just Dylan I missed. I missed Sky, too. The last few days she was here were so good. My heart hurt. Someone had taken all the joy from my home, leaving it cold and empty. I kept my promise. I called every day, but the happy, lively Dylan was gone. He turned into a shy, quiet kid. We did find some joy when we talked and did our homework. Sky seemed sad, too. The whole thing was hard. Long distance is tough, especially with our past and me having trouble trusting. I couldn't shake off this doubt. Was she telling the truth about what happened with Derek? It was strange he showed up at her place that day. Very strange. I needed answers. Why? Damn, Sky wouldn't talk. She kept saying, "I don't know, I can't remember." But when I pressed her, she got more upset. Then, we had a big fight about it. One day I talked to my mom about it. She scolded me. "Rory, you just got back together. Why are you digging up the past? Can't you let it go?" I said, "Mom, I need to know what happened." "Don't you get it? Knowing would help me understand." "It's the not knowing that's eating me up." She sighed. "Does it really matter? You've either forgiven her or not. It's simple." She was right. Did it matter? If only it were that simple. If it were just a fling like with Shane and me. But to happen without any warning, without talking. Christmas was our first chance to be together again. I chose to fly, not drive. Sky met me at Tamaru Airport, and Dylan ran into my arms, soon followed by Sky. Holding her tight felt like heaven. All the doubts and worries I had vanished, replaced by her sweet scent. We drove back to Memorial, and all the way, Dylan talked nonstop about school. Instead of going to Sky's, we headed straight to my mom's place. She planned a big family dinner. It turned into an awesome night. Sloane, with her big round tummy, found it hard to move. She had to stay still as per her doctor's orders, so she had us do things for her. Sky and I got into deep chat about what comes next. She started off worried. "What's our plan, Rory? Where do we head from here? I've got a job in my own place. I can't just pick up and move back, and I'm not sure I even want to. But I miss you all. I loved having you over. If you're willing, would you think about moving?" It wasn't simple for me either. Dylan's got his school and friends here. Your family's here, and I love them. I get it, all of it. But I can't move back. I'd lose too much. I'd have to start over. We were stuck. When Mom heard, I asked Sky to think about moving to be with me. She was torn, but then she got it. She was on my side this time. Sloane was too, even Layla. I saw Sky's trouble. Moving's hard. Christmas was great, full of food, drinks, and gifts. Dylan and I spent hours on his new Xbox One. I borrowed a bike from Hank so Dylan and I could ride together. Time with Dylan made things feel right. I loved being with him. Leaving after the holidays would be tough. I hoped Sky would see the good in moving to Auckland. My job's there. And my life. I couldn't just leave that. Sky had something she hadn't told us. She seemed off and shy all visit. I saw she didn't touch any drink with alcohol during our Christmas fun. There was more to it for sure. I tried to ask, but she didn't want to say much. I thought it was about us moving. Could she be against it? It all came out at my mom's house after a big meal. We were by ourselves, and Mom was busy playing a video game with Dylan. Sky took my hand as we sat outside in the late night. She took a big breath in and then dropped the huge news. "Rory, how would you feel if I said you were going to be a dad again?" My shocked face said it all. What? It was hard to tell what she was feeling. A tiny smile was there. Her heart must have been pounding as I choked out words. How did this happen? "Rory, you know how? When I was in Auckland, we slept together. I wasn't using birth control. I've not been with others. I wasn't out to find someone to sleep with. What we had was amazing. I didn't think of protection. It didn't cross my mind. I'm sorry." Her news did more than surprise me. It turned my brain to jelly. I hoped she would have wanted a better reaction. My scare didn't make her happy. I sat silent, trying to find the words. She stood and ran inside. I heard her cry to Mom. Dylan sat next to me. "What's wrong with Mom? Is she happy or sad?" I couldn't tell. Mom and Sky came back close to each other and she looked mixed up. "Why aren't you thrilled? I was just shocked, Mom. It was unexpected." "Son, if you start a fire, expect it to burn." I got up and hugged Sky. "We'll need a larger home." She smiled, moved close, and we kissed. Dylan asked, "What's up?" Sky got down close to him. "How would you like a little bro or sis?" The news flew fast, and it meant a big family meal was due. Of course, things took a new turn. Sloane set it straight. "Rory, I've thought it over. You can't just expect Sky to move to Auckland. She needs us. And we need her too." Mom smiled, and Lila agreed fast. "Rory, Sloane's right. You'll need your kin. Sky will too once the baby comes." It was clear from Sky's face she agreed. The way they hugged and held hands. Man, those three girls were close. It's not just about Sky. Rory has his own life, and he needs to agree with the plan. I smiled. "Thanks, Mom. It's not just about moving. I've got work. I need to earn." Hank didn't back me up. I hoped the guys would be with me. "Rory, with what you can do, you could find work here. No sweat. I can look around, see who's hiring." Mike went even further out there. "Rory, you could stop working a job. Your bone carving is top-notch. Sloane showed us what Mom clicked when she visited. You've got a gift. Being in an office all day, you're just letting it go to waste." Easy for him to say, but bone carving wouldn't pay the bills. Sky looked at me across the table, her eyes sad. It was like she was stuck between two worlds. After the party, I had a chat with Dylan. "Dad, why can't you stay here with us? I don't want to leave. I love Nana." "But you liked Auckland. Made mates, right?" "Yes, but since Pop is gone, Nana feels so alone. I see her cry." That hit me hard. I hugged him close. "Dylan, those are the kind words ever. She does need you." He gave a nervous smile. "It'd be good if you stayed. Nana always says she misses you." "I know. I miss you too. I miss you, my son. I want you to live with me." But then Nana would be all alone. No Mom either. We hugged. Then Sky called out, "Time for bed, Dylan." The holidays flew by, but the big talk was there. I wanted them with me. Mom, to my surprise, was on my side. She was firm. Didn't matter if it was Sky, Sloane, Layla, or the kids. Mom backed me up, tried to make Sky see my work side. On my flight back to Auckland, I thought a lot. Sky's stand hurt the most. She loved me, said it lots, but wouldn't move. We talked every night for weeks. Not fights, but hot talks. One night I lost it. I told Sky you say love but won't move. Like you love me but went to Derek, a guy you didn't even like. I doubted her love, said she just needed a dad for the kids. She yelled back and hung up. We went silent for days. It felt stuck. Then she called. We said sorry and it felt okay. She then said, "I quit my job, having a sale this weekend." "What? Why?" I was shocked. "I'm saving up to move to Auckland," she said. "You're coming?" I was so happy. "Yes, it feels off, but for you, I'll do it. I can't stand us fighting. I just knew deep down all I wanted was to be with you, and you nailed it." Dylan really opened up there. It felt like everything flipped. My smile wouldn't fade. "Thanks, Sky. You won't regret it, I swear." Mom wasn't too sure, but she still helped Sky with her yard sale and cleaning up her place. But her heart just wasn't in it. She felt trapped, having to choose between two tough spots. It was her decision. Then, a few days later, a realtor flyer showed up. "We want to sell your house. We have buyers ready with cash." Could I do it? While I was at it, I started looking at homes around Amarillo with the money from selling my place. I could afford something really nice back home. I saw a bunch of homes. Out in the country where there's space and fresh air. While browsing online, one property just popped out at me. It was north of town, past the racetrack. 5 acres, 4 bedrooms, a big garage. But what really grabbed me was right beside the road. There was a gallery. The online photos showed it as an art gallery run by the owners. A little digging showed the artist was well known, and the gallery was a hit. The old farmhouse had been fixed up many times. It was way less than what my current place was worth. I could sell here, move there, own it all with no debt, but then came the job question. What in the world would I do? Mike's silly suggestion stuck in my head. Bone carving, as if I could live off that. Since that night class, I was hooked. It started as therapy for my anger, making me a nicer guy to be around. A friend said try a hobby, so bone carving it was. It turned into something I couldn't get enough of. I even sold some pieces through a friend at the Takapuna markets. It was good money, but not enough to live on. One night, Hank called to talk about helping Sky pack for her move. As we chatted, I asked him straight up, "Buddy, how true was it that you could find me a job?" He laughed a bit. "Rory, with what you can do, finding a job for you would be easy. It might not pay as well as your city job, but hey, we all make do." I chuckled at his city folk joke. "There's a line between just getting by and truly living," I said. "If you're for real, start asking around. But let's keep it quiet. I don't want Sky getting her hopes up. If I don't land a good job, I'm not moving. No stress, friend, our secret. Not even Sloan will hear from me," I snapped. In the days that followed, I talked to the real estate guy in Oamaru about a house for sale. I also put my own house on the market. Things moved fast. I couldn't believe it. My house sold for more than it's worth. Too good to say no. I asked Hank to check out the house in Amarillo. He liked it and said they'd take less money. So I made a low offer and they said yes. Just like that, I was boxed in. No turning back. It all happened in a blink, and I was jobless. Hank kept the secret. It was tough not to spill the beans. I had a big surprise planned for Sky, but things changed. She sold her stuff, her car, and was booking flights. She moved faster, and I had to break the news. Then Sloane's timing was perfect. Going into labor, Sky had to help. She couldn't just run off on her best friend. Everyone was so busy with Sloane having her baby, they didn't notice me at all. I rented a truck, packed all my stuff, and took off. My car went by train. Everything I owned was in that truck. My boss was cool about it, letting me leave without waiting out my notice period. I kept getting news about the baby, not sure who was more thrilled, Mom or Sky. This was good for me. They were all caught up in the birth, not even wondering what I was up to. I drove through the night and caught the 11 p.m. boat on the Cook Street ferry. On the ferry, I tried to catch some sleep, but at 12:30 a.m., Sky's excited call woke me up. "It's a boy, a beautiful baby boy," she said. "Mom, get the phone. He's so pretty, Rory." Then Sky was back on. "Sorry to wake you, we were just too happy. You should see Hank. He's over the moon. Barely can catch his breath." I said my congrats. She told me, "Go back to sleep, lazy bones. Shame you're not here. Hank's planning a big wedding bash. Actually, maybe it's good you're not here. You'd end up with Jillian." Yeah, Jillian. She was a looker, but not a good choice, according to Sky. She laughed. "Go back to sleep." Then my phone beeped off. I looked out into the night. The ferry's rocking helped me drift back to sleep. Waking up again at 1:30 a.m., it was still dark and raining. I stopped at a 24-hour place, got gas, picked up some pies, coffee, and a few sodas, then hit the road again. With a 7-hour drive ahead, at least the truck had a radio. Driving down State Highway 1 was something else. The road hugged the coast. Though it wasn't a clear night, the lightning light up the sky, making it special. The lightning hitting the sea made it sparkle. I passed Kaikoura, Cheviot, Amberley, Kaiapoi, and finally Christchurch. Stopped for more food and a shower at a truck stop, as the sky started to lighten. As dawn broke, I started my drive from Rolleston. The sun was fully up by the time I got to Ashburton. More cars filled the roads, making my drive slower. It was close to 9 when I neared Oamaru. I stopped at a gas station, really needing to pee. As I stretched, my phone began to ring. "Sorry for calling late last night. Hope I didn't wake you." "No worries, glad you called." "How's the new baby boy?" "Oh, he's wonderful, so cute. We're going to see him again soon." "Where are you staying?" I asked, trying not to yawn from tiredness. "At my mom's, but hey, I'm still coming over after Sloane gets back." "Sounds good. How's Dylan?" "He's fine, coming with us to meet his new cousin. He's excited." "Nice. Give him a hug for me, say I love him." Finding a spot for the truck near the hospital was hard. I picked up my large flowers and chocolates and went inside. The hospital wasn't big. The nurses directed me where to go. I heard laughter and happy sounds coming from a room. When I peeked in, the whole family was there, watching Sloane hold her new baby. I took a deep breath. I coughed to announce my presence and said loudly, "Congratulations." Everyone went quiet and Sky looked shocked. "Rory, why are you here?" Couldn't miss seeing my new nephew. Dylan ran and hugged me. "Dad, you're here." I bent down and kissed him. Yes, I am. But how? Sky asked. In a truck, needed it for all my stuff. Hank came over and we hugged. Welcome home, bro. Thanks. My mom then gave me a big hug. Things are getting bad in town, Mom said. Yep, they sure are. I just got a house here. Lila came running and hugged me. Mike came by and shook my hand. Glad you're here, bro. Sky was shocked. She stood there with her mouth wide open. Then she moved fast and we kissed. It was intense. I gave Sloane her flowers and chocolates, laughing. We swapped gifts and then I held a baby for the first time. It was a mix of feelings. Soon, it'll be us with our baby, and I felt bad. I missed so much with Dylan. What a day it was. Sky and I went to get the keys for our place. When we got there, I asked, "What do you think?" She was quiet since we left the hospital. "Rory, it's amazing. I can't believe it. We have a house. I'm so happy." Great. But this isn't just a house, Sky. It needs to be our home. We looked around the house, and then Mom, Layla, Hank, and Mike came over to help with the furniture. It was a long day, but it all turned out nice. We brought Sky's stuff over in the truck, and I returned the truck before we went to see Sloane at the hospital. As we left, Mike said, "I think I have a job for you, but really, you should stick to bone carving. You've got skill. I'd hate to see it go unused." "I plan to, Mike. Not sure if I'm good enough, but I'll try. The job is just in case. If bone carving goes well, great. If not, I still have a job." "Buddy, you're good enough. You just need to believe. Faith ain't something I got much of, you know," Sky said with a deep, hard look. "But I want to change that for you, Rory. I'll spend forever trying to make it right." She moved close, and my arm found a home on her shoulder. "Can't wait to see it," I told her, and things kind of just flowed from there. We got ourselves a new place. Our boy Dylan found some pals nearby who were all about hockey. Watching him hit it off with them and really get into the sport made my heart swell. I was dead set on making up for all the times I wasn't there for him. But life ain't all smooth sailing. My new job was a nightmare and I couldn't stand it. But thinking of my family made it bearable. Just for them, I could deal with any crappy job. Because now, with a wonderful girl in our lives, we were a real tight-knit family. Hey listeners, if you enjoyed watching this video and want to stay updated with our latest content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss out on what's coming next. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video with Queen Cheating Tales.